Okay, hello class. Welcome to today's mathematics lesson. And today we are going to do a lot of talking and a little bit of calculation. Not so much. We are going to do what we call planning and collecting data. And in today's lesson, what we are going to deal with is identifying data. Now, the following should be learned and will be well understood by the end of this lesson. You should be in a position to know what hypothesis is, what a primary data is, what a secondary data is, data collection sheet, equal class interval. So these are some of the things we really need to know for the end of this lesson. Now, in this unit you learn more about the following: how to design data collection sheet. We are going to explain in a while what that is. How to identify where and how to get your data. How to use your data collection sheet to collect data. So I've taught you statistics, and in statistics, one thing you have to have data. And once you have this data, you record the data. And before you have it, you have to know you have to know which data you want. And after knowing which data you want, you have to know the specific place from which you can collect your data. After knowing where to collect it from, you've got to know the method you're supposed to use to collect your data. And after that, you've got to record them for future reference. So these are some of the things you need to remember. What to think about when collecting data. In fact, A, decide whether to get data from the whole population or from a sample. Now, typically 10%. What does this mean? You find that suppose you are to collect data about a class, whereby you want to know how many girls are in a class and how many boys in a class. Or maybe you want to collect data about the age of students in state 10 or rather in 10. You might decide to go to each and every individual to take the data from each and every person. You ask them their ages and then they can tell you how old they are. However, you've got some data. Suppose that you want to collect data about an entire school that has got 1,000 students. Or maybe you wanted to collect data about a village that has got even 3,000 people living within the main block. In that case, it will be difficult to walk in each and every house and collect the data you have. However, you can decide to use what we call sampling. Sampling, you simply have a target, and the recommended target in this case is 10%. You just have a target, what you really want, then from there you work with the data you have been given. But decide how to collect your data. Now, once you've got your targets, then you have to decide how you're going to collect your data. First, you can decide to ask people questions, then they give you answers. Or another way, if it's a science project, then you can decide to carry out an experiment. Then also you record your observations. Now, what to think about when displaying data per head. You can use two types of table. One is called a two-way table, record your discrete data. Another one, you can also use what we call the frequency table. Now let's go to two-way. You can use two-way. For example, the table below shows which hand the students in class used to write. So you find that the left-handed girls are 4 of them, the right-handed girls are 10, and the total is 15. Boys, we have one boy who is left-handed, then right-handed we have 11, then we have 12 total students. Then we can also say that we have a total of 5 left-handed, a total of 21 right-handed, and the total number of students from whom the data was collected is 26. So this is what we call a two-way table. Then we have frequency table. In frequency table is whereby we deal with the class intervals. We have equal class intervals. So I'm going to show you what that means from the table. And this one from 40 to 50, whereby we are supposed to determine the masses of maybe some people in a given population. Then we are saying that 40 to 50, or rather 40, the number has to be greater than 40, but it has to be equal or less than 50. Then next, it is greater than 50 or equal or less to 60. So in tally, you just draw some things which you can see. That represent 1, 2, 3, 4. That means there are 4 individuals. When we reach the 5th one, we just suppose that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can have 1, 2, 3. In other words, this one can be 8. So that one being applied, you can see the tally, the first one tally has got 3 sticks. These 3 strokes, that means we have 3 people with a mass between 40 and 50. And so less than, then we have the next one between 50 and 60. We are having 8 of them. Then between 60 and 70, we are having only 6 of them. So this is what we call frequency table. Now, when you carry out a statistical, the first thing you need to decide on is hypothesis. Now, hypothesis is basically a statement of what you think is true. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be true, but then again, you can just make a statement, something which you think is true, and after that, making that statement, then after you've done your experiment, after that you've collected your data, then you can compare what you have with your hypothesis. You can find that it was either true or it can be false. But then again, it doesn't have to be true or false. Just your opinion on what you think. From the outset, when you look at a given set of data, what can you really say about the kind of data you are yet to collect? Now, hypothesis should not be confused with question. It's not the same as question. It's an opinion of the data collector, and it might not necessarily be true or false. Below are some of the examples of hypothesis statement. Now, girls take care of their health better than boys do. You see, looking at that one, you can just make such a statement. This statement can be true or it can be false, but this is according to the opinion of the person who is making this hypothesis. Another example, many people go to work by bus than any other means of transport. That's what they assume, but then again, there are some countries whereby you find that so many people, like if you are crossing the ferry, a major number you find them walking towards town. So if you look at the number who are walking and the number who are road, actually there are not even buses here, so-called matatus. So if that statement is taken to be universal, it might not be true. Major number are walking, then there are matatus, there are not even buses here. Now, using fertilizer on my tomato plants make them grow bigger. That is just an hypothesis, but you find that this statement sometimes may not be true, especially where these fertilizers encouraging the growth of weed that are likely to suffocate the tomatoes. But then again, as I said, it doesn't have to be true, or it doesn't have to be false. That is just opinion of the data collector. Most students in my school own laptops. Now, it could just be an hypothesis because you've seen 2 or 3 students owning that, then you feel like everybody is rich owning a laptop, while some of them do not even have a desktop. Most of Kenyans do not own a car. That's another hypothesis that has not been proven. So most of the boys in our school are smart. then we have most of the girls in our school intelligent. So these are just example of ways of how you can write an hypothesis. Now, when carrying out a statistical investigation, one needs to plan first. Below a suggestion for a plan. So these are, I'm going to give you a six step on how you can plan your statistical investigation. First, you have to decide on hypothesis to test. So hypothesis basically being, you come up with a hypothesis to test whether it's true or it's false. So come up with a hypothesis to test whether it's true or it's false. Now we are going to take a break, and when I come back, we are going to start testing on these 6 steps. Thank you.